Chapter 2. Pembroke climbed the stage steps, and the crowd settled down. The tall man stood at the bottom of the steps with his muscular arms crossed. On the stage, someone handed Pembroke a violin. Then the group began to play. After a few minutes, the band stopped and Pembroke played her violin. When she began to sing, the audience joined in. Dink noticed that Josh was snapping his fingers. "Thought you didn't like violin music," he whispered to Josh. "I don't usually," Josh said, "but I've never heard anyone play a violin like this before." Pembroke played and sang for about 45 minutes before she took a break. She handed her violin to a band member and took a deep bow. "Thank you," she called to the cheering crowd. "I'll be back in 20 minutes." The woman in front of Dink pulled her mask down over her face. Then she hurried toward the stage steps with her autograph book. Josh pulled off his mask and stood up. He grinned down at Ruth. "Those hot dogs smell so good." Mr. Hathaway handed Ruth some bills. "Lunch is on me," he said. "Meet me back here after intermission." The kids walked toward the food cart. They passed a Presto Pizza and stopped at a cart with a picture of a hot dog on the side. The sign said, "Frank's Finest Franks." The man behind the cart was wearing a white jacket. The name Frank was stitched in black letters over the pocket. "I'd like 4 hot dogs, please," Ruth said. "Sorry, I'm closing for a few minutes," the man said. He needed a shave. Dark curly hair grew on the back of his thick knuckles. "But I'm starving," Josh pleaded. He gestured at Dink and Ruth. "My friends are too." "Well, all right," the man said, "but make it snappy." He held up an autograph book. "I have to get Penguin to sign this for my daughter." The man pulled 2 rubber gloves from a box on his counter. He flipped them over his hands, then plopped the 4 hot dogs into buns and placed them on paper plates. "Drinks?" he asked. "3 colas," Ruth said. She put their money on the counter. The man traded the drinks for the bills and slapped down the change. "Mustard and stuff is on the counter!" he yelled as he dashed toward the stage. "You should get her autograph too, Ruth," Dink said as he squeezed the mustard on his hot dog. "I already have it," Ruth said. "When they sent me the tickets, there were a signed picture of Penguin in the envelope." "I hear circus music," Josh said. He pointed toward some trees. "Let's go check it out." They ate as they walked toward the tall trees. "A carousel," Ruth said. "Want to take a ride?" That gave me enough money." "No way," Josh said, around a mouthful of hot dog. "That's for little kids." "Come on, Josh," Dink said. "It'll be fun. I haven't been on a carousel for years. Besides, I see some kids on our age riding." Josh sighed. "Okay, but I'm not sitting on some baby lamb or puppy dog." The kids finished eating, dropped their trash in a barrel, and hurried to buy tickets. A minute later, the carousel stopped and a bunch of kids hopped off. Rufus climbed aboard a shiny black horse and sat on his golden saddle. She held onto the safety pole that went from the floor to the carousel's roof. Dink chose a green dragon with big red flames shooting from his mouth. Josh checked out each animal. Finally, he chose a roaring lion. The carousel operator circled the platform. "Be sure to hold on your poles," he said. A minute later, the carousel started moving. Dink held the pole as his dragon moved up and down. He laughed out loud when it suddenly roared and its tail swept back and forth. He looked for Josh and Ruth. They both waved at Dink. "My lion is faster than your dragon!" Josh shouted at Dink. Just then, Dink heard it yelling from over the wire stage. He tried to see what was going on, but a crowd of people blocked his view. The yelling continued, and Dink still couldn't see. Holding on to his safety pole, he kneeled the dragon's back for a better view. But the dragon was very slippery, and Dink suddenly felt himself falling. He slid off, landing on the wooden platform. "Ow!" Dink yelled. The attendant hurried over. "Are you okay?" she asked, helping Dink to his feet. "Yeah, but I scraped my arm," he said. "It really hurts." "Stay right here," the attendant said. She walked to her lever and stopped the carousel. Josh and Rufus jumped off their mounts and ran over. "What happened?" Rufus asked. "I heard someone yelling over by the stage," Dink said. "I kneeled on my dragon to see better and I slipped off." Josh put his finger on a small swelling on Dink's forehead. "You got a boo-boo," he said, grinning. "I'm getting my dad," Rufus said, as she took off running. Just then the attendant came back with a pencil and a pad of paper in her hand. She felt Dink's forehead. "You bumped your head too," she said. "I'll need your name and address. I have to report all accidents." While Dink told her, Rufus came back with her father. "You all right, Dink?" Mr. Hathaway asked. Dink first. "My arm hurts," he said. Mr. Hathaway checked Dink's arm, then looked at the bump of his head. "I think you'll be fine," he said, "but I'd feel better if you paid a visit to the first aid tent." "Good idea," the attendant said. She pointed to a sign, "Do not stand or lean off the right." "Do you see the sign?" Dink nodded. "I was trying to see what was going on over by the stage," he said. "Temple Gwyn got robbed," Rooster said. "What?" Dink and Josh cried that out at exact the same time. "It's true," Rufus' father said, as the foursome walked toward the first aid tent. Josh nudged Dink. "Look at all the cops," he said. The stage where Pembroke had been singing was surrounded by police officers. The mounted officer was talking to people in the audience. Two other officers were on the stage, standing with Pembroke Gwyn. A tall man who had been her escort was nowhere to be seen. "What did they take?" Dink asked. "Her diamond penguin," Rufus said. "Someone in a mask snapped it right off her neck." And that is the end of chapter 2. See you next time with chapter 3.